All right. My name is Thomas Miner. I am a realtor with Exit Realty North Star, and today I have with me Jared. Jared, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I cannot complain. I'm inside, and the air conditioning currently works, and I'm thankful for that.
And staying dry.
And staying very, very dry, which is good. So, we're on here to talk about local news, and this is the perfect topic for us to talk about. It actually feeds into, I think, 2 videos ago, we had talked about government's doing programs to help encourage more affordable housing and to encourage having good options for first time home buyers to buy. And I think this is a perfect program to do all of those things. So, what I'm talking about obviously is Historic West Des Moines Housing Fund project. Jared, how much of this have you gotten to kind of read ahead and look at?
I read the article when it came out just about the housing fund. I think it's a good idea. I mean, anytime that I would say that Des Moines is notorious for helping out or keeping or maintaining historic neighborhoods. So
Hmm.
anytime that there's opportunities like this, I'm all for it. I think it's great and can help a lot of these people in these areas.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of cool. So it's interesting too because West Des Moines, if you look at the city limits of West Des Moines, they really don't have a ton of green space left to grow into. And
Hmm.
I think at some point in time, and it's not like West Des Moines hasn't done this. I've always thought West Des Moines does a pretty good job of making sure that everything is getting remodeled consistently and they keep a certain standard in the city and stuff like that. But at a certain point in time, they need to start looking at bigger projects to make sure that all the homes in West Des Moines were getting used effectively.
Hmm.
Um, so this is the Historic West Des Moines Housing Fund is what they're calling this, and Historic West Des Moines is basically referring to what most people would call Valley Junction, um, which would be north of Railroad Avenue, west of 63rd slash First Street, and then south of Grand. Basically, that corridor right there, which conveniently enough, I actually live in.
I was gonna ask, isn't that kind of the area that you're in?
Yes. So I was very, very excited and very, very interested when I saw this pop up. I'll basically go through it one point each, and you can just ask follow up questions, Jared. So the first part, and this is kind of the biggest part that I think most people are excited about, is what they're calling the home improvement program. And what this program is going to offer is it's going to offer funding for exterior home repairs to homeowners, and the city will match funds that the homeowner contributes depending on income, but the match could be up to 3 to 1. In most cases, it's just going to be a 1-for-1 match, up to $25,000. So the biggest thing I think of is like roof or siding projects, but I mean, this could go to a lot of different stuff too.
Right. So, do you know what the income limits are?
So the income limits, I can pull it up really quick and double check. The income limits do go pretty high.
Okay.
Um, I will. So if you're just talking about a single person,
Mm-hmm.
it goes up to $76,000, and then a couple 87 per year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So you're talking about a good majority of homeowners in this neighborhood would qualify for at least um what are they saying, 110%. So for every dollar, I'm not good at math, but every dollar you would put in, they would match like 90 cents of it, right,
Yeah.
roughly, up to $25,000. And then, I mean, you're talking about the ages of houses there. Some things I commonly see. You'll get some older sightings that people are probably just been patching, and then this would be a good opportunity for them to just go ahead and replace all of the siding and do it the right way. A lot of people added in um, 3 season rooms or front porches that maybe weren't done correctly way back when, like in the 40s or 50s, and they're settling. So those just need to be completely redone. There'd be a good time to look at projects like that. You could be foundation issues would qualify for this as an exterior project. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
Do you know if if you get this money, do you have to hire like a licensed
You have to
contractor?
yep, you can't be the one doing it. It has to be through a licensed contractor. So the agreement you would actually be signing to get the money would be with yourself, the city, and the contractor would have to sign it as well
Gotcha. Which
to
makes
make
sense. That's pretty common with these type of,
yeah.
grants, loans, whatever you want to call them.
Yep, yep. And then I mean, to get projects like this done, if you don't have the cash, a lot of other people explore options like HELOC, and some pretty aggressive HELOCs. So this would be a good opportunity for you to get a project like this done and do it really, really cheap, basically half off. I mean,
Right.
so and if you're getting your siding redone, say it costs $15,000 and you qualify for that 3 to 1, you only have to put $5,000 in there to get your siding redone. I mean, you'll see a return on that investment on that fairly easily.
Right. Yeah. 100%. And then is there a repayment on this program?
So it's a lot to read through. From my understanding, is if you do it, um, and you stay in the house 10 years, you don't owe them anything.
Okay.
If you were to, for some reason, move out uh, before that 10 years, the money that they matched would be prorated out. So, say they gave you $10,000 and you move out in 3 years, you owe them seven.
Okay.
So, but it's interest free. Otherwise, like it's not like you're going to pay interest on the program and stuff like that. It's just they don't want what they're trying to do is keep people in their homes longer. And then when people do sell, they want the home that they're selling to be a better product when it comes time to sell it. But the big thing that they want to make sure is that homeowners in the area stay homeowners. And we'll get to the third point, but they want less renters in the area as well. Because that all of those things lead to home values going up in the neighborhood. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make more housing available, and they're trying to make the housing that is available worth more than what it was,
For sure. Yeah.
basically.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
So the other program that they're doing is a program that's been done. I really don't know how long, but it's a program that basically any real estate agent is familiar with and any lender is familiar with. But they're adding this to part of the map. So what they're doing is Neighborhood Finance Corporation. This will be a part of Neighborhood Finance Corporation's map. And basically what that is a down payment assistance program slash project assistance program, I guess. So you would define it through
Similar to the home improvement, they do that
yeah,
as well.
yeah. And basically what it does is it can get you a $10,000 grant to do a home improvement project in the house. And Jared, you don't work for Neighborhood Finance Corporation, but it's your understanding correct that those projects can be done after you purchase the house, correct?
Correct. I'm almost positive they have it during the, like, you obviously get it for when you buy, but I believe you can apply for it after you buy as well.
You can apply for it after you buy, but the project doesn't have to be, if you do get it while you're buying, the project doesn't have to be done before you close, correct?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, basically, if someone were to be shopping, and I'm just going to call it the Valley Junction neighborhood, even though the Valley Junction neighborhood is actually a lot smaller than what people normally think. But someone would be shopping in the Valley Junction neighborhood and say, "Hey, this house is awesome, but the roof is just too old." They could apply for this program and get this extra $10,000 grant to have the roof fixed either before or after closing as part of them purchasing the home. So it adds that to the map of Neighborhood Finance Corporation. If you have any questions about Neighborhood Finance Corporation, don't be afraid to reach out to me about that. They have some pretty good tools on their website as well that you can look up and see. It's not just Valley Junction that would be a part of this neighborhood. They actually have a pretty big area that that type of product would qualify for. And then that's a part of Iowa Finance Authority too. Which Jared, if you want to talk really quick about, you do work with Iowa Finance Authority. Do you want to talk about their first time home buyer? Well, I should say first time home buyer programs, just their home buyer programs that they have.
Yeah. So they have down payment assistance, multifaceted, or you can honestly just get their interest rate. So you don't necessarily have to take the down payment assistance funds. You could just take the rate. So It's pretty great. It ranges from 2,500 up to 5,000, and there's obviously caveats. There's overlays that make sure you qualify for, but other than that, it's a great program, and they just came out with they just added funds for their veteran down payment assistance program. So there's stuff that's going out there. There are some really good down payment assistance programs.
Yep. And I always mess up and say it's first-time home buyers because that's most commonly people that use it. But yeah, I mean, you'll see a lot of people. The biggest thing is bringing down payment or covering closing costs. And Iowa Finance Authority, through a lot of their programs, really helps out with that. So this is why I mentioned to people, if you're in the process of looking to purchase your first home, to start talking to a lender, because if that's the only thing holding you back, that may be the perfect option for you, or it could add a little bit of comfort that you didn't have before, knowing that, hey, I could possibly qualify for even the $2,500. You save $2,500 in cash, then all of a sudden you have that reserve, so you feel a lot more comfortable getting into it.
Yeah, you shouldn't deplete everything, with a down payment, then you can't furnish the house.
This last program, they don't have too much details about how this is going to work quite yet. And it's kind of one of my projects in the next few weeks to start hunting down answers on this, but I think it's very interesting based on what I know about the neighborhood. But this program is going to be allow anyone that owns a single family rental unit to transition them into owner occupied property by selling them to the city. So the city would more than likely be looking to purchase a rental that probably, I think they're planning on renovating them, and then selling them to, on their website, it says low income buyers. And I think this will be awesome because then they can start. I'm going to actually post in the comment section right now. I'm posting West Des Moines article that they've written up about all these programs, so people can go read through all the details if they want to. But it'll start switching the ratios of people that own homes in that neighborhood versus people that rent them. But in general, what you will typically see is in a certain neighborhood, if you see more people owning it, the home values tend to go up because in general, people will take more care of them if they own them, and they will have a bit more initiative to fix up smaller projects and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think it could potentially be a very good project.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be curious to see how they're going to operate that specific program. And obviously, if you have more info, make sure that you post it out and share it to the world.
Yeah. And if you happen to be someone that does own rental property in this neighborhood, I could still help you. Reach out to me and talk to me about potentially reaching out to the city of West Des Moines. I'm not going to say that they're going to lowball you, but we'll definitely need to look at the offer that they're making you and making sure it's a fair offer, because it is a very, you in the open market you would still be able to sell to a first time home buyer as well too. So
Yeah, for sure.
and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions yourself, Jared? And then we could give it a few seconds to see if anyone else watching has any questions about the program.
Have they put a date on when they're going to instate a lot of this stuff?
So it is all basically just started 5 days ago. And I know that uh, they do have a certain amount that max that they're going to lend out. I want to say it was a pretty high amount of money that they're going to start lending out. I don't know if they have a specific date. Like obviously the down payment program and the home improvement program are going to end when they're out of money. The rental acquisition program, I don't know for sure when they're going to end that program.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
But yeah, that link that I posted, it has all of the contact info if you want to reach out to them about applying. It actually has the links and applications for all 3 of these programs on there. And then it'll kind of show you in general the map that you're kind of looking at too. But in general, it's pretty easy. You're talking north of Railroad, basically, south of Grand, and then west of 63rd / 1st.
Gotcha. No, well, I appreciate the info, Thomas. I think it's going to be valuable. And if somebody picks up, even if it's one person who applies and is able to get it, I think this was valuable.
Yeah, and then I will say too, if you're sitting there looking at your house that you own in that area and you're trying to decide what projects to do, definitely reach out to me as far as if you want to do it in the sense of adding the most equity to your home. In general, all those exterior projects will be about the same, but there's no need. I see a lot of people kind of overdo some of these projects and put like way more into it than they really need, and they actually start to not lose equity, but don't get as much of a return as they think they would. So something to think about as well.
For
But
sure.
awesome, man. I appreciate you hopping on and I appreciate you talking about this because I think when we first started doing this, this is one of the first. This is like a big story that I think a lot of people should know about. So
100%. Well, yeah, appreciate you sharing. Looking forward to the next one.
awesome. Talk to you later.
Yeah, you bet.